Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's Lexi. It has been so long since I have filmed any kind of long form content for you guys, but I am back and better than ever. For today's video, we are just gonna sit and chat for a little bit. First, we're going to talk about life updates, and then we're going to go into my November wrap up and my December TBR. So, life update would be last time I talked to you guys, I had said that my husband and I bought a house and we're moving. Well, we are officially moved into the house. Everything is mostly okay. I want to keep it 100. We moved into the house, and then a couple weeks after moving in, we had a major plumbing mishap. Our sewage line was damaged in the yard, so that is currently getting replaced and costing us a fortune, which is never anything you want to deal with right after buying a house. But we are just staying faithful that the Lord brought us to this house for a reason and trying to keep a positive attitude with that part of the house. But other than that, everything has been great. The move-in process was really nice. The house fits all of our needs. It's beautiful. We have gotten like a couple new things for it. Buying furniture is always fun. So everything else is going very, very nicely, just minus that sewage thing. Next big update, we got a puppy. I'll put a picture of him right here. His name is Sirius Black. He is a 4-month-old border collie shepherd mix. When we got him, we weren't sure if he was like Australian Shepherd or German Shepherd, but now we're leaning more towards German Shepherd because he's really, really big. He is the same height of our 3-year-old Golden Retriever. Granted, Remus is a small Golden Retriever, but still, we think Sirius is going to be a big boy. So here are the two puppies together. They absolutely love each other. It's so fun having a dog for our dog. They just play all day long. They tire each other out. They get into trouble together, and it's just really fun. He fits in the family really, really well, and we're just really happy. We found him at the our local shelter, and he was in the shelter for biting, but he was 14 weeks old. So it was like puppy biting, and we pretty much nicked that. He's pretty well behaved. He does have like some puppy tendencies. He likes to eat shoes, which Remus never even licked a shoe. So that's been a weird adjustment for us. And he's just kind of menacing, but like, it's fine. He's a puppy. They definitely fit their namesake, though. I will say that they get themselves into so much mischief. It's insane, but we love them, of course. We just had Thanksgiving, so I hope everyone had a great time with family and friends. They had lots of quality time. Unfortunately, Ryan, my husband, got sick, so we just did Thanksgiving, the two of us, but it actually was really fun. We cooked a bunch of food together. We got to sit and eat together and kind of just talk about the things we were thankful for, what we're looking forward to in the next year, and like all of those things. It was very personal and intimate, and we really ended up having a great time just doing Thanksgiving, the two of us. We did miss all of our family and friends, of course, but we were just making the best of the situation. Ryan had strep throat and like a chest infection or sinus infection. I don't know. He's starting to feel a little bit better, thankfully. Those are kind of the big life updates I can think of. In regards to this channel, I did want to announce I'm doing Bookmas. So excited about it. I have a couple videos fully finished, so I am so excited to share these with you guys, so definitely stay tuned. I'm posting this on the 2nd, and then I'm not posting it all again on here until my Bookmas starts, to kind of give myself time to edit and plan and film and all of those things. So I'm going to go on another small hiatus, but it's to plan for all of Bookmas. The other thing I wanted to announce in regards to like social media, my sister-in-law Katie and I started our book podcast again. Go Read Sis is back and literally better than ever. We have been having such a fun time filming these podcasts for you guys. So I will tag the Go Read Sis channel down below. We are really proud of what we've come out with. So definitely give Go Read Sis a listen or watch, however you like to do your podcast. Without further ado, let's talk about my November reads. The first book I read in November was The Things Gods Break by Abigail Owens. I ended up giving this book 4 stars, and I was so excited for this. The first book was one of my favorite books the year I read it. And when I started this, I was scared I wasn't going to like it as much because it had I had such high hopes for it, and I was anticipating it so much. But I really did enjoy it overall. The last half of the book was definitely more enjoyable for me than the first half. The first half, you're very confused and don't know what's going on. And the main character feels the same way, but it almost got to the point where I was like, come on, like, I got to start piecing something together, or like, what is this book? But it all came together really nicely. The ending does set up the third book in a pretty seamless manner, I feel like. And I will definitely be finishing the series because this book and this series and these characters I just have grown so fond of. Next, I read The Nightingale by Kirsten Hanna, and this was like an emotional support buddy read with my sister-in-law Katie. She read The Women and I read The Nightingale, and like I had read The Women previously and she had read The Nightingale previously, so we were basically just like, let's just be there for each other as we get our hearts shattered by Kirsten Hanna. And it was a really fun reading experience doing that. I ended up giving this 5 stars. Kirsten Hanna is one of my like all-star authors. Like everything she's written has been a 5-star read for me. That I've read. I have read The Women, The Nightingale, The Great Alone, and Firefly Lane, and all 4 of those have been 5-star reads. So I just really appreciate her writing. I love the depth of the characters you get during her stories, and just the fact that you follow them through decades is so enjoyable to me. Even if it's like sad, I just love getting to be that connected to a character's story and their life. This book is obviously really, really sad. I definitely sobbed at the end, but it was so, so, so good. And I am going to say my official Kirsten Hanna ranking is The Women, The Nightingale, The Great Alone, and Firefly Lane as of now. I do have a few more that are on my immediate TBR, but that's where I'm going for now. And I read Glow of the Everflame, and I ended up giving this book a 4 stars also. I was pretty excited to read this after finishing the first one, and I was not disappointed at all. I love the world building we're getting in this book and the series in general, and the magic system is written out so beautifully and easy to understand. This is like the blueprint of a romantasy with good world building and plot building. I think this is one of the best romantasies I've read in recent time, where the world building is right on par with the romance. And I don't say that lightly. There's a lot of romantasies I really, really love, but the world building is not adequate, at least yet. And I am talking about the Empyrean series. This is not me saying I don't like that series. Don't get me wrong. It is like one of my favorite series. It just doesn't do as good of a job as balancing the romance and the world building. These books, they do. They are great on all the fronts. And also the characters and the character development and the relationships are all done so masterfully. I can't stop thinking about this series, like truly. Then I read Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber, and I also gave this book 4 stars. I was very, very much on the fence about this book. I had been going back and forth on if I wanted to read it because in the description, the devil is a character. And as a Christian, I felt very conflicted about that. I didn't know how I felt about reading a book where the devil was a character that was potentially a protagonist or written in a sense of like being a good person. And I know that is a very common thing for a lot of Christians to have convictions about. But I follow a couple Christian TikTokers, and one of them read this book and explained the role the devil plays in this book. And with what she explained, I ultimately, after praying and discerning with the Holy Spirit, decided that I was going to give this book a try with the intention of if I felt any convictions, I would put it down. I did not feel any convictions reading it. The devil ends up playing a very, 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 very small role in this book, and the devil isn't like described as a good person or a protagonist or really anything like that. Like the description makes it seem like it's going to be talked about way more than it is. So I personally didn't have any issues reading this. I will always say, in regards to your convictions, they are personal. Pray about them, do your own discernments and all of those things. I didn't have an issue with it though. Next, for my in-person book club, we read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and I gave this book 5 stars. I was very pleasantly surprised about this. I had been really wanting to read a sci-fi after finishing the Devoured Worlds trilogy, and I was very happy to get one and read one that wasn't a trilogy or a series, just a standalone. And I have nothing negative to say about this book. I had a great time reading it. I love the multiverse vibes you're getting from it. And my husband and I started the TV show immediately after I finished this. So I loved it. And I read The Christmas Express, and I gave this book 3 stars. This is where I start my readathon books. If you don't know, I did a readathon. There will be a vlog coming out during Bookmas, but this was the first book I started and finished during that readathon, and I did give this 3 stars. I didn't hate it by any means, and I would say 3 stars is a generous rating for me for a Christmas book because I feel like and I don't say surface level in a negative way, but I feel like a lot of times Christmas books can be surface level because there's just not a lot of depth going on. But I, by any means, did not hate this at all. It was cute. It was fast paced. It was funny. The characters were relatable, and I just had a fun time reading it. So 3 stars. Then I read Saving Six, which I cannot believe I started and finished this during a readathon. It was absolutely a feat. But I will say, my saving grace with this was I was so exhausted for being up for 20 hours that no matter what was going on in this book, I physically couldn't cry. So that was enjoyable about it, but I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed this more than I thought I was. I was pretty much convinced that none of the other books would compare to Johnny and Shannon's story because I loved them and I was so attached to them, but I was wrong. This is just as good, if not better, than Johnny and Shannon. I love the turmoil the Joey goes through in this book and his inner dialect and his reasonings for things and all of that. I just really enjoyed being in his mind and why he does what he does and the decisions he makes and the choices, and it was just very, very interesting. I had a very fun time. Well, I don't know if fun's the right word to describe reading this, but I had a good time reading this, like, for the most part. It's really, really sad though, as of all of these are. I think they're like generally marketed to young adult, and I would say they're not really young adult books, but that's just my personal opinion. The last book I read in November was The Gingerbread Bakery by Lori Gilmore, and I ended up giving this book 3 stars. I overall had a fun reading experience with this. I just would say again, I felt like it was surface level, and I feel like the relationship wasn't the most believable in my opinion, but it is by far not my least favorite book in the Dream Harbor series. It was still cute. I still enjoyed it. I would still generally recommend her books. I think her books are overall really cute. They definitely give Gilmore Girl vibes, and I would generally recommend her books to most people. I had a fun time reading it. So it was my very insane November reading wrap up. Let's really quick chat about my December TBR. First book on my December TBR is my current read, Redeeming Six. This is the second Joey and Aoife book. I am like this far in. I'm babying. And this book is massive. I'm also reading it on my Kindle, so don't be fooled, but this will be the first book I finish in December. Next, I found a couple Christmas books on Kindle Unlimited, so I will put pictures of them, but the first one is Merrily Ever After by Catherine Walsh. I don't know too much about this book. It literally just looked like a cute little Christmas story on Kindle Unlimited. I am going to be doing a reading Kindle Unlimited Christmas books for Bookmas, and the next two are by the same author. So they are A Cross Country Christmas and Christmas with a Crank. Same author. They are both Courtney Walsh, and I don't know too much about them, but they are clean Christmas romances, so I'm excited about it in that sense. Heat of the Everflame, which is the third book in the Spark Glow Everflame series. I don't know what it's called. I'll put a picture of it right here. That also is on Kindle Unlimited, so I will throw that on the list as well. And it's just a busy time during the holiday, so I don't want to give myself a super unrealistic TBR. So that's what I'm going with for my December TBR. Let me know what your most anticipated read of December is. And if you watched this far, thank you so much. Please make sure to stay tuned for my Bookmas. Again, it will start on December 13th. I'm very excited, and I am so excited to be back. I hope you guys all have a blessed Tuesday.